Hey, good morning. There we are. I'm seeing some folks in the chat room. Welcome back to my live stream. My name is Jeff Fritz. It is May 24th, 2018, and I'm happy to be here with you, ready to write some code. Um, First off, today's hat. This is a hat I wore very early on in the set of streams that we've been doing here, right? And I've been trying to iterate through and show all my different hats, and I've had to do a couple repeats in here, which means I need to go get some more hats. I think because I'm doing more shows than I have hats. This is show number, I think it's 78. There's 76 in the YouTube playlist, and there's one or two that didn't make it into the playlist. Plus, there's the full day workshop that we did. So I think we're looking at 78 or 79 shows. I need to get an exact number on that because I want to make a big deal out of getting to 100. So today's hat, this is one, like I said, I wore early on. It says, if you can read it there, certified I am, you're not. I got this hat back in 2008 when I went to my first Tech Ed conference. I went to Tech Ed in Orlando. Tech Ed North America at the time is what they called that. And I was a developer at a small startup, and I wanted to get certified. So I went. I took my tests at Tech Ed after sitting in a bunch of sessions. I was absolutely thrilled to be able to see Scott Hanselman live at Tech Ed. I even ran into him in the hall. He probably doesn't remember that. And I was absolutely thrilled as a young developer to meet him. Um, so I went and got certified, and because I got certified, they gave you this cool hat. And I went back to the office. I showed my manager, and he said, "Well, that's nice. So what?" And this hat has always meant a little more to me. That I can reach for the stars. It doesn't matter what your current employer is saying, what my boss thinks. Being certified means something to a lot of people. Having that knowledge, being a presenter, writing a book, writing blog articles means something to a lot of folks in our community, even if it doesn't mean something to the folks that you're currently working for. All right. So, hey, thank you for the host there, Dev Chatter. I appreciate that. So, good morning, Sinclair Nader. Avandro is there, aspiring DevOps guru. Smarty Pantalones. Now, is it Pantalones or is it Pantalones? Let me know. Is that supposed to be Virtual Clem? Good morning, Andre Samaras. AKA Skomac. There we go. Meet Popsicles back. Good to see you. Welsh Ronaldo. Hello. I do not know React.js more 6. That's something I'd like to spend some time learning at some point. Pantalones. All right, there we go. Hey, good day, Smap. Good to see you. It is Spanish. Okay, pantalones. Fantastic. Cryptrix. Good to see you. Was that time a little bit better? And I should have low latency mode turned on, so we should get quick response back and forth between the chat room and me here. And I'm trying something slightly different with my lighting here, so I'm not completely flooded out and I look like a ghost with the light in front of me. Spanglish. No, 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 don't go there. I did a little bit of work on our GitHub scoreboard because I'm seeing a bunch of folks pushing through a lot of really good pull requests on the core wiki project. I want to make sure that we recognize those folks also on our GitHub scoreboard ticker and, start to show their names as well here. All right. I mentioned the other day that I do listen to Carl Franklin's Music to Code By, and we listen to that here on stream. I haven't turned it on yet because I want to make sure I announce this right. 3.3 seconds latency. That's amazing. How do you get that exact number? Because I've turned on low latency mode here. I don't know. Only 10 seconds. Huh. Okay. Um, but that still feels bad to me, even though I've enabled this. Sao Paulo, Brazil. Pretty good. Okay. So our friend Carl Franklin writes the music to code by, the app Music to Flow by, and he's been a tremendous influence on me, both him and Richard Campbell and their .NET Rocks podcast. If you haven't watched the podcast, listen to the podcast. Go check that out. .NETRocks.com. I've been flattered and very appreciated to be a guest on their podcast a number of times, and they've hosted me at a couple of events that I'm positively thrilled to be able to participate in. But Carl writes the music to code by the music we listen to in the background here, and he's thrilled that you enjoy it with us here on my stream. And he gave me a few more of his songs to play here. And the latest song that I started listening to the other day is called Orchid. And I really, really like this one. This is, I think, my new favorite here. There's a Chrome plugin that shows extra info for the stream. Oh, very nice. Slow broadband in the UK for SMAB. Okay. 2.5. That's not bad. 2.5 is certainly a lot better than where it was before. So I want to play for you now this song we're going to be listening to today. This is called Orchid, and we'll have this in the background throughout the stream today. So there we go. Starts off kind of quiet and slow, but it'll ramp up. Come on. There it is. I love this bass. I think I may need to turn it up a little bit. How's that? Can you hear that now? You dig the cup? I got this from my local... They had this at the local grocery store, Guardians of the Galaxy on it. And I was, I couldn't help myself. I had to buy like 4 of them. They were $1. It's like, okay, great. So there you go. I hope you dig the music here in the background. So I want to talk about the core wiki. We've got a number of nice contributions here that I want to go through. Let's review and start merging here. The home of Star-Lord, Lake Stevens, Washington, from Kai Bass Hunter. Oh my gosh, that's it's got to be pretty early in the morning out there. 7 a.m. in Washington. Good morning, good afternoon, Wiki Dave. And nothing but a lurker. Well, you're actually talking in the chat room. Can't be lurking that much. It is May. May is for Macs. I want to make sure that we're going to be writing .NET code here on Visual Studio Code using my trusty Macintosh. It's right over there, but I've got it on the screen here in front of me so that I'm not looking away from you to write code. So let's go over to our code, and I want to start talking about, I'm not even going to go into code, I'm going to go over into our pull requests for the core wiki. There we go. And there you can see the updated GitHub scoreboard ticker up there. And I'll refresh that once we go through and merge a couple of these updates here. So you can see I put the name of the repository first, and then I have the top for each week, for the current week, top for the month, and top all time. And there we go. Now you can see the core wiki contributors. And we're going to fix that top this week. We're going to merge a couple of these pull requests right now. So I have 3 pull requests here. We were talking about this one from summer, just called implemented issue number 2. Let's take a look at this. And this is adding the identity. And the problem that I have with this is, yeah, there's too many merge requests, too many merges happening here, because the timing of this, and I mean 34 commits. I can't take this and re-merge in all of these changes with a couple of conflicts. So I feel like I'm within. I'm within my within my rights? No, I think it's now polite to write. All right, let's move this to another pull request. Obligations. Yeah, I'm within my obligations. That's a good word. Nothing but a lurker. Thank you. See, you're not just a lurker. You're helping me. Hey, Mike Brocky's here. Mike, oh my gosh, there's some. I've been pondering when to have Mike on to join us I'm beyond help. I am beyond help. I am helpless. But I've been pondering when to have Mike on to talk with us about some of the things that he's an expert at, like Angular. So purview sounds right. Hey, that is another good word. I see Telerik in you still. No, there is no green Telerik here. There is no Telerik here. All right. I use this little beanbaggy thing to hold up my phone so I can kind of see what's going on over here. So, okay. And I can also do that quick response to folks. But there is no more Telerik here. I have been on their podcast, and I wouldn't mind having them on here. We need to figure something about that out. But I need to have Mike on at some point. We need to work that up. Solar is at Sol Rev Dev. How do I submit a pull request correctly? Great question. Let me close this out. Let's move this to another pull request with only the changes to support this feature. All right. Nothing but master. Only to master. Well, no. Nothing but a lurker. I'm going to disagree with that. Here we go. As a repo owner, it's a good form to request PR owners to rebase, restructure the PR rather than opening a new one. Okay. You know what? Let's do that. Let's can you rebase this so that we can merge only your changes? Is that fair? Should I merge the master in beforehand? Okay, these are some good GitHub etiquette questions that you have there, Sol Rev Dev. Would squashing first be another option? I think squashing is something that I, as the project owner, I don't want to get into too much. You know, unless there's a reason for there to be more than one commit from you. I would prefer there to be as few commits as possible. One would be great. But only to master, I'm gonna disagree with on Nothing But a Lurker, because master is where I see my production, right? That's my current version that I'm shipping, and the work that I'm doing, well, but actually, Nothing But a Lurker, it's a good discussion to have. You know, yes, it was a little tongue-in-cheek, but I see, and you know what? Maybe we need a contributing document as part of this, right? I don't have a contributing document. Maybe we should do that here real quick. I see master as production. I see dev is where current work is going on, and I don't want my contributors submitting something and saying put this directly into production. As the release engineer, and also the project owner, I see that as my responsibility to decide what gets shipped in which version. +1 for a contributing MD. Cool. Okay, we can do that. So I really prefer, unless you're working on you're specifically contributing to one of the projects that we're working on, I would like to see you create a feature branch and then submit a pull request into dev. And I think that's the right way to go. If the PR owner isn't comfortable with Git, a new PR is fine, but a link to the original PR is helpful to keep the history of comments. Yeah, I think that's good. All right, so let's put together a contributing MD. What do you think? You know, it's not all about code all the time when you're working on a project like this. And I've mentioned to some folks that I am doing this. I'm giving a keynote at Developer Week Germany in Nuremberg in June. Oh, cool! Thank you, Justin. Let's do it. And the topic of my keynote is development in 2018. It's a new team sport, and I think things like a contributing document and how we manage our projects, our open source projects, because so much of the tools we use are open source. I think it's important for us to talk about and make sure that we understand good etiquette, good form, you know, how to be polite and good GitHub citizens. Huh? Good GitHub citizens? Look at that. I like the sound of that. That sounds fantastic. There you go. All right. I need more cool sound effects. I do. All right. So, I'm going to back up. Look at that. I've even got a rewind sound effect. Oh, yes. Found this as a starting point. Citizens. Oh, man. That's pretty good. That was Ric Flair, Justin. Yes. Here's my problem. I don't have Twitch open on this machine to be able to go and pull that URL. In an earlier stream, somebody was asking how to tokenize a span. There is code for it here. Ooh, look at that. That was, that might have been during... Was that during our C# hour with Emo, Joban? But I like the term citizens. Stop it with the Telerik. Telerik is not... I'm not representing them here, all right? Contributing MD template. Let's do that. Contributing... is it... Right? Contributing MD... Look at that. Right there. Good contributing MD template. Hey, look at that. It's the same thing that DevOps Guru was pointing to. First result. Alright, so this is from Purple Booth. Who's Purple Booth? Let's learn a little bit more about Billy Thompson. Thank you, Billy, for sharing this. Chromapunk, and is that Topher? Thank you for the follows. I look forward to seeing you in our chat room. And look forward to answering your questions. Microsoft sent me 4 HoloLenses. I can't get them to send me 1, and I work for the company. And actually, I'd love to do a HoloLens session here on stream. That would be really, really cool. What do you think? Let me know. Let me know if you'd be interested in a HoloLens stream. How to program on the HoloLens. Building something neat over there. Okay. Alright, so contributing. When contributing to this repository, please first discuss the change via an issue, email, any other method. I want you to discuss with an issue so everybody can see it. We have a code of conduct. Please follow it. Oh, I better grab a code of conduct. Maybe I could link up with Lars Klint for that. You're hacking the HoloLenses. Oh, that's cool. Alright, so pull request process. Ensure any install or build dependencies are removed before the end of the layer when doing a build. Good. Update the README with details of changes to the interface, includes new environment variables, exposed ports, useful file locations, container parameters. Increase the version numbers in any example files in the README to the new version that this pull request would represent. The versioning scheme we use is Semver. I don't want you to maintain the version number. I think that's something that I'll do as release engineer. You may merge the pull request in once you have the sign-off of 2 other developers. I don't want you merging the pull requests either. That's something that, as owner, I want to do, and then if we delegate and give other folks administrative capabilities. But I could see this. I would want to change this to admins may merge the pull request. If we start adding some admins to this, if this really becomes a thing. Needs some tweaking for sure. Yeah, I think you're right. Our pledge, in interest of fostering blah, 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 gender identity, expression, level of experience, nationality, personal appearance. Just like here, I want to make sure everybody has an opportunity. Examples of behavior contributes to creating a positive environment. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah, I agree with all that. Examples of unacceptable behavior. Yeah, okay. This is a little bit of code of conduct here. Our responsibilities, responsible for clarifying. Project maintainers have the response. That's what I was thinking of, project maintainers. To remove, edit, reject comments, commits code, scope, enforcement. Well, that's not right. Code of conduct is adapted from the Contributor Covenant version 1.4 available out. Let's look at the Contributor Covenant. Our standards, our responsibilities, scope, enforcement, attribution. Yeah, that's fine. Alright. So, I do like this. Yeah, good pickup here. So let's copy this. And now, I will put this into the master branch and then merge it into the other branches. So, I will click create new file because I'm really just going to put it right here. Please first discuss the change via issue. I don't want that with the owners and maintainers. All right. I need to grab a code of conduct and put it in. Why is this needed? Seems like common sense. It's, I want to make it a little bit clearer to folks where they should be working and where they should be merging. Please ensure any install or build dependencies, right? Update README with details of changes to the interface, includes new environment variables, exposed ports, useful file locations, and I don't need container parameters. Increase version numbers. I don't want that one. I don't need that one. You may merge the pull request maintainers. Project maintainers may merge. I don't want to say of 2 other developers. May merge the pull request. Let's just say you may merge the pull request. I don't want to require sign off yet. Let's just say that. Ah, come on. Let's just say that. All right. Please submit all pull requests to the dev branch unless you are working on a project, on a formal project, in which case, that's not how you spell which, you should submit the pull request to that project specific branch. I think that's fair. Our pledge, yeah, this is kind of code of conduct, our responsibilities. Yep, okay, that was fine. I'm good with that. Added contributor doc. Yeah. Why won't it let me commit the new file? I didn't name it. Haha! Right, contributing.md, is that what it's called? But everything from our pledge and down is unneeded in common sense. I agree with you. However, if we codify it here, it's easier than to boot people and say you're violating our pledge and standards. I completely agree with you. Like I said, I want to make sure that it's crystal clear. Alright, so let's compare and merge request down into dev. Yep, adding contributor doc. Do that. And I'll just do that merge. Yes, merge. Cool, done. Alright. See so much of these days. You're right. However, we want to make sure everybody feels good is working together and is importantly is civil, right? We're good citizens, right? Point Cloud Library, step-by-step guide on preparing and submitting a pull request. Ooh. What was that? It is Point Cloud Library guide to preparing and submitting a pull request. Come on, give me that link. There it is. Not bad. That's not bad at all. Can I lead the Bing project and make it useful? No comment. I do like this. This is pretty good. I'm going to click edit here and copy this. And let's bring this into our wiki here. Shoot. Yeah, I need a home page. Fine, do that. My work. No. Alright, let's start with that. No, I'm allowed to use whatever search engine I'd like. Of course, they'd prefer I use... they'd prefer I use Bing, of course. Alright, so let's make this italic. Adapted from... Let's give them proper credit. And let's link this. Now, just leave it there. That's good. All right. Let me just double check. Yep, I have the one project there. All right. So I think that clears up a little bit about what we look for in our pull requests and in our commits, and how I'd like to see you submit a pull request. 70-some viewers right now. That's great. Thanks so much, everybody, for tuning in here. Going through just a little bit of this project management, making sure everybody's on the same page. Citizens. I still like that. Let's tweet that real quick, right? Be a good GitHub citizen and submit great pull requests and documentation. Be a citizen today. There you go. I added a comment to issue number 11. How far away from teams in MS? How far away are the teams in MS from each other? If you find a bug, annoying thing in Windows, Visual Studio, File Explorer, Bing, Edge, do you have a big ceremony to get the feedback through? No big ceremony. We do have feedback loops that we can reach into locally, not locally, that have a priority that we can send those over to, and folks can hear that, here's feedback from somebody who is, one of your colleagues. It might be, a little bit more pointed and, easier to get feedback and have a discussion with a coworker than it is sometimes with a customer. It's also a little bit less, sometimes a little bit less intimidating for a program manager or for an engineer to talk to a coworker than it is to reach out to a customer. When you reach out to a customer and you have to admit, oh yeah, that's a bug. it's a little bit more intimidating than, speaking to a coworker and saying, "Oh yeah, okay, you found an issue there. Let me clean that up, and can I send you over an incremental build and give that a try?" Typically a colleague is more accepting of that kind of interaction. But if there was a ceremony every time I had to file an issue with Visual Studio, it would be a strange thing, I think. Probably, let's see. I added a comment to issue number 11. Let's go find issue number 11. The RSS feed. Snickler RSS core package may be of use for this. Okay. Let's come back to that. I don't want to blow that off. I want to come back to that. Not issues. I want to go look at our pull requests, and then we can take a look at bringing that in. So DevOps Challenge here has some updates. Just linking to all the videos. Right? Where I've mentioned this. That's fine. Where we've been working on this. Part of me would like to take this section here where you have the videos that we've been working on this and move this over to a wiki page. And you know what? Let me actually do that, because I really do appreciate those updates. The updates that show where we are discussing it, with videos that show where we are discussing and working on this project. Let's move those to the wiki, as I don't think with a reference in the README to that wiki page. This way, we can we can ensure the README only changes when the code changes, right? Cool. Windows never has bugs. Oh, Windows has bugs. And unfortunately, Windows has bugs now in a way that people have exploited. People take advantage of those bugs in how they write their software, which then means that if you fix the bug, you've broken somebody else's software, and that feels really bad. Here we go. Added tag helper for Gravatar. Let's take a look at this one. So if you remember, in our core wiki, this is a very simple. It's a very simple wiki that allows folks to key in comments, and they get to key in whatever email address they'd like. Oh, that's cute, Lurker. That's cute. But instead of right now, it's kind of hard coded in the project to show just my picture whenever anybody keys in a comment, which is great when it's just me that's using the project. But when we publish this and we open it up for other people to contribute, they're going to want to see their own face. They're going to want to see their own project there. I think you may have missed it. A great resource to get started is open source, your first PR. Ooh, I did miss that. Your first PR.github.io. Contributors, maintainers. Right. So, your first PR starter issues on our Twitter account and on your. Be sure to monitor those spaces on new issues that may be of interest to you. If you know of any projects posting issues ideal for someone's first contribution, send us a tweet or create an issue on our GitHub issue page. I might use this. This won't be too bad. What do you think? What do you think of us sharing some PR? The jerky GitHub scroller animation. It's only jerky because I've got a lot of going on here on this machine. I actually still have Skype running in the background here. Come here, you. And it's actually OBS and the browser that OBS is hosting kind of fighting each other right now. Thomas knows best. There he is. Thank you for the follow, Thomas. I look forward to seeing you in the chat room, answering your questions. And Steve, it's great to see you again this morning. Thank you for welcoming our developers, Steve. I like Visual Studio on Mac. Great. I'm glad you like that. GitHub has standardized on using the label Help Wanted. I have the Help Wanted label here, and I have been using it as a way to ask people for help here. Did we... Yeah, there we go. So... Auto update has just broken it, and the rollback feature does work. Very irritating. Yeah. You like my follow alert? Thank you, Thomas. Yeah. I think it's important. You know, that was a video from Steve at an internal Microsoft event talking about how important developers are to the development of Microsoft, to the growth of Microsoft, and I think you're important to the development of our community. So I want to welcome you in a funny way that makes you smile. I want to take a look at this just so we can see how Gravatar is used here. So I'm going to use the command line instructions to merge this. Now this is set up to go from this feature branch, avatar for comments, into my dev branch. So I copied those couple of git commands there. I'll go over to Visual Studio Code is what I'm using. I didn't want to make changes here. Don't save those changes. I'll go Control backtick so that I open up the in Visual Studio Code terminal here. I'm using bash inside of my terminal, and I'll just paste in those commands. So I get the new Gravatar tag helper and the list comments here. Nothing but a lurker. Thank you for the follow. I appreciate you joining us. You were already here watching, but I appreciate bringing up Steve there. Thank you. Definitely is important to have developers to support certain ecosystems, as we've learned with Windows Phone. Yeah, you're right. Have to bounce. I care for my disabled mother these days, and pull requests won't feed her. I'll catch up as usual on YouTube tonight. Thanks for adding something for those who may not have done a pull request before. I hope that was useful. Yeah, I think it was. Thank you for your input this morning, Soul Rev Dev. Thank you for participating and watching. So this is now inside of list comments. Oh my gosh! Thank you so much for the subscription, Soul Rev Dev. And of course, I'll match that subscription and we'll donate those proceeds over to our friends at Girl Develop It, so more folks can learn to be developers. Have a great day. Absolutely, I agree with Thomas. All right, so this is over in list comments. And I'm always flattered when folks submit, subscriptions and cheer with bits. Oh my gosh, it flatters me, and it's a tremendous help to our community. Where was it? List comments is it's in the components. I'm looking in the wrong place. No, I was in the right place. Rats. List comments, and it was in the CSHTML. So now it's using image Gravatar email instead of just outputting the image directly that we had hard-coded here before, which was my wonderful picture. Hey, Wintermute, good to see you. I hope you like the updated ticker there at the top that had some of your input in that. Jason Lautzenheiser, I'm guessing you're German with a name like that. Thank you for the follow. Thank you, Steve, for welcoming Jason there. Put in an order for the new Surface Book, but forgot to add pen to the order. I know, the pen isn't included. Isn't that weird? By using, so this is a tag helper, right? And it's triggered because of the presence of this attribute, Gravatar email. So a tag helper in ASP.NET Core is a lot like a directive that you may have seen in some of the JavaScript frameworks, particularly Angular. But it runs server-side, and this will trigger some server-side interaction to format anything that occurs inside of this tag, right? It can modify anywhere from the space at the beginning of this tag all the way to the space at the end. So you can actually put stuff before the image tag, you can put stuff after it, but that's it. You can't run around and add stuff to other areas of the page. German heritage, yes. Family been in U.S. for 200 years also. Yeah, though, same here. My family's been in the States for more than 100 some years. So, with a name like Fritz, it's gotta be German. That sounded like a Smucker's ad. I don't know. So let's look at the Gravatar tag helper. So it says it's going to target the image tag, and it's looking for the Gravatar email attribute. And it'll grab that attribute and push it into this property here, the email property. And it's got a Gravatar mode, so we can change the mode. All right. Yeah, I think we do want a G rating. I don't want to bring somebody's R-rated Gravatar into this. Right, I like having a family-friendly shipping here. And then this is, well, this looks like you're handling that hash for the Gravatar, right? You have to, Gravatar is, for those of you who aren't familiar, is a universal avatar generation website that'll, for your email address, format and place an appropriate avatar image appropriately on a page. And it generates an MD5 hash of that email. We don't really care we don't really need it or require it to be cryptographically secure. We just need a hash. So we'll create that MD5 hash from that email address, and we'll convert it to a string, and we'll use that to build our avatar. That's pretty cool. That looks like the formula that the folks at gravatar.com request you generate that in. So I'm going to go back over here, and I'll just run our application right here inside of Visual Studio Code. I think I need to step down into the core wiki folder here. There we go. And let's just .NET watch run. So the watch command tells the .NET SDK, if any of these C# files or project files changes, restart whatever the next command is here in the line. And run says compile the application and run it for me. So there, I'm listening on 64.908. I'm going to copy that. And let's go back to Firefox. Open a new tab, paste that in. That's the wrong... I thought I copied you. Right? Command C. There we go. Alright. Not worried about MD5 collisions? No. No. It's an email address that we're hashing. It's not intended to be like I said, cryptographically secure. So I'm okay with that. There it is. Now it's pulling in. That's my Gravatar here. Right? Of course, if I keyed in a new comment from somebody, you know, second comment, and we send it from scott@hanselman.com. This is a comment from faux Scott, and we save that. And then it looks like it came from Scott. That's his Gravatar. So cool, it's actually pulling in and using Gravatars appropriately. And there is no authentication right there. Right, there's nothing that's verifying that email address really is that person. And we'll get into authentication some other time to really nail down that. I appreciate Wiggy Dave with the C# bot emotes. I have 2 more emotes that I'm adding if folks want to subscribe at another level and contribute more. I'm adding a blue cap as another emote that you'll be able to use on stream if you choose to subscribe at the higher level. Like I said, you're not required to do this, but if you want to, I feel kind of obligated to allow you to have some more emotes, and I need to add some other subscriber benefits besides just emotes. But the top level emote is... What was the top level emote that I was designing? Let me see here. Oh! The top level emote, and these haven't been released yet, so no need to go rushing. I'm waiting for approval still from Twitch. The top level emote is let me just go to it. I grabbed it from the .NET Foundation swag repository. Is this one. So you'll be able to be super C# if you do the highest level subscription. Like I said, these aren't released yet. I want to add some other benefits to folks if they do want to subscribe. But I do appreciate that other folks want to be able to do other things like this. And our friend Mads Torgerson and Dustin Campbell, who are kind of the engineer and designer, some of the engineers and designers around the C# language. You'll see them wearing this as a t-shirt at various Microsoft events. Maker Blaker, good morning. Thanks for joining our chat room. You have the same t-shirt. Very cool t-shirt. I really think it's neat. So I really like this pull request now that has the Gravatars built in there. I want to make sure that we merge that and we get proper credit back to, I think it's Avandro is who put together that pull request. So let's finish this merge. I'm just going to click merge here. What am I saying? Let's just do it. This looks really good. I like it. Simple, easy to follow, and makes our commenters look a lot better. Thanks for the contribution. Alright, and I will commit that. Hope you didn't trick me this time. No tricking. When I get tired of chat and use emote-only mode, there'll be more stuff for us to post. I don't know about that. Alright. So, see, now I need to put some SignalR into that into the GitHub scoreboard, because now I need to force an update, right, inside of OBS in order to get it to pick up that change. So I'm going to do a refresh here so we can get the latest info. Look at it. That's terrible. Here we go. So Stream Tools, and then we'll see the updates here from CoreWiki. All right. So this looks neat. I want to definitely do that. Let's look at, all right. Now, why are you Snickler over here? The Sinclairinator is Snickler over here. Let's look at your project. And maybe we can get this RSS feed built really quick. Let's see. ASP.NET Core middleware for generating RSS feeds. Okay. Create an ordered way to easily generate RSS feeds on the fly via ASP.NET Core middleware. Add the NuGet package to your projects. Utilize the namespaces. Create an RSS provider. Create a provider class that implements iRSS provider, returns a list of RSS item objects via these retrieve syndication items method. Content, permalink, link URI. What's the difference difference between permalink and link URI? Last updated, publish date, title, categories. Okay, that's cool. Authors. Okay. RSS feed configuration. Add your provider to your service registration and configure services with the Add RSS feed extension. That's very cool. I love how simple that is. Set the options for your RSS feed in configure with Use RSS feed. New RSS feed options, title, copyright description, managing editor, webmaster, URL. Neat. Optional RSS caching configuration. By default, memory cache is used to cache the feed for 1 day. To be able to update the cache duration or cache key, add a new instance of memory cache provider to the caching property with the RSS feed options class. You'll be able to access the feed at whateverurl.com/feed. That's nice. That's nice. I really like this. Now, my question is, should I leave this open for somebody to submit as a pull request? That does look super easy, Maker Blaker. I could build this now on stream, or should I leave it open as a pull as something that somebody can submit? Do it. Mark the issue with the label Help Wanted. Yeah, let's do that. Let's mark it as Help Wanted and also mark it as a good first issue. I really like this and think the Snickler RSS Core package can solve this easily. Let's leave it open for a contributor, and I will review on stream. Like I said, I want to celebrate your learnings, and teaching is more than just me going and implementing something here on stream. I want to give folks the opportunity to code something and contribute. Hey, there's our friend Shane. Good morning, Shane. Good to see you. Yeah, we need to figure out when we're going to get Mike on here, because I think and Mike, I think what you're seeing here with this Core Wiki project that Shane and I actually started on stage at Dev Intersection. I think what you're seeing, this is... Oops, I stopped the project. I need to restart it. You know what? I'm going to run it over here in a terminal. Right? Just so that it's over here and I don't need to think about it. Hey, Banifest, good to see you. Look at that. And I notice John keeps going back and hitting that uptime command just to make sure we're still running well here. But I think you can see I've got just a couple of very simple pages here that would be interesting to angularificate, something like that. But right, the idea is these are very simple pages, right? To create a new article, and allow folks to be able to very quickly see, here's how to take a simple project and add on those features or migrate and use another framework. Verb Angular, there you go. And look at that, now you can see up on the list, top of the week, Evandro is the top contributor this week to this project. You know what, I'd like to put a link to the GitHub repository down here in the footer, just to kind of, give folks who are looking at this, right? Give folks a way to get back to it. So let me put that down there, and then I want to go and talk more about the versioning project that we've been working on here, because I think versioning is something that's very interesting when you think about this project. First off, which branch am I in here? Yeah, let me go back to dev. That's not how you spell branch. And this is, I want to remove DevOps challenge. Is there a way to shortcut that? BR dash avatar for comments. Okay. And now if I git pull, I should get that change merged in. There we go. All right. So let's take a look. I just want to update that footer real quick. And I think it's just in my layout. Right? I want to put a link. There's my scripts. There it is. Core wiki. And open source project from the Fritz, that's not how you spell it, and friends community. Yeah, I think that works. GitHub, C# Fritz, core wiki. There we go. I think that's just being polite. Git commit. Added link to the GitHub repository in the footer. Alright. Hey, good morning, Bane Games. Oh, I should target. Oh, good point. Good point. And, but which one should I target? That's kind of annoying that Target doesn't give me the list of possible targets. Maybe because I'm in Razor, and I know Visual Studio Code doesn't know Razor. Yeah, blank is probably the right one. So now I'll just do a git commit. Amend. Yep, that's weird. Opening VI in the terminal inside of Visual Studio Code. That's not right. Let's push force because it is an amend. There we go. All right. Now, the project that we were working on here, over here. So I've got two projects, and we've got the internationalization localization project, and there's already a little bit of work that was done on this. UTC timestamps, yep. Internationalization, globalization. Yeah, all right. But the one that I want to work on right now is article versions and ratings. I think this is a minimum that we need to finish before I can publish and put a public wiki out there. Because if people are in and they're submitting, there's some bad actors. I want to be able to revert their changes. So particularly, track changes are things that I think we need to get to here. So let's take a look at track changes. Do I know Jimmy Bogart? I do know Jimmy Bogart. I haven't spent as much time with Jimmy as I'd like, but I do consider him a friend. I've certainly met him a number of times. For this article to make sense, we need to define better scope. Does an article have an owner? Different authors can collaborate on an article, or only owner and administrator? So this is, Avandra really started digging into what this feature means, that track changes. Creating an additional table, article versions, to store versions. In article versions table, add a new version column. Okay. Edit detail article. I can see that. So currently we have a table that has the article and it just has the current content in it. If we have a historical table that has here's the previous versions, I think that's a good way for us to version and hang on to that information. And it'll help us if we use other repositories in the future for our data. Articles list. Add new functionality versions to each article which permit the author to navigate to a specific article version. Yeah, okay. Show the version list for a selected article. Suggested columns. Changed by, changed date, changed type. Select 2 different versions and display the diff. Yes. Select last version and delete it. And you never have to apologize for your English here. You're looking at his mediator library. So there's benefits. There's another discussion that we can get into here on stream when I have this minimum viable is let's talk about mediator and where it fits in here. And actually, I think it might be a good idea to try to recruit Jimmy to join us for our architecture workshop. I don't know if he'd be open to that, but and I don't want to speak for him, but I think I could extend an invite to Jimmy to show Mediator and how to use it as part of that event. Let me know what you think. You know, if there's if there's architecture topics that we should talk about as part of that. And in fact, that has me thinking. Let me create an issue because I run everything on the stream through issues. Back here on the live stream, let's create an issue over here. Planning for architecture workshop in July. We've hit 2,000 followers, and we've promised an architecture workshop for hitting that goal. Let's recruit some speakers and plan the content. To talk about Mediator. Steve Smith has previously expressed an interest to talk about software architecture as well. But this is more of planning. So I'm going to add a label here for planning. And planning activities for future workshops. And let's make this like a bold. I like that purple, and I clicked through it too fast. Give me a purple. Give me a purple. I want a purple. Ah, that's good. All right. Did I lose all that typing? No! Ah, there it is. Good. Planning. All right. I should create a project for this. And what topics would you like to hear about? I know folks, I've specifically had folks ask about CQRS. All right. Before tracking owners and changes, don't we have to have logins and start to verify identity? Yes. Yes. There's something to that. And I really want to have Barry Dorans do the identity hookup with us. I'm implementing the RSS functionality right now. Oh man, thank you, Wintermute. But I completely see what you're saying there, Smab, about... Yeah, look at that. Sinclair Nader's happy that you're working on his feature. He's working with his project. Yeah, I guess we do need to have security here. Wait, we do have... Let's add... Can I... Huh? Add cards. There we go. Oh, wait a sec. We finished this. Let's close this. We finished that. Merged. There it is. I thought it would have closed it automatically, but it didn't. Alright. Add cards. Import file. That's... Okay. Article estimated read time. We finished this one also. Completed while on stage at Build 2018. Alright, let's get rid of that. Maker Baker likes your library. Awesome. Documentation very well done. Alright. So I love seeing documentation like that that show you simple examples and have a sample right inside of the repository that they can point to and say, just use it like this. I think that's being an excellent project owner, you know. CI/CD and Azure Container Services will get there. CQRS pattern will get there. WikiDB should not be in. We did this one. That was very good there, so we'll close that. All right. Come on, go back. Excuse me. All right. Let's see what else we have here. CI/CD, use CQRS, convert to a PWA, RSS feed, identity server for authentication. I think we just need authentication. There it is. Issue number 2. And this is what Summer was working on. So I think we can just pull this in over here. No! Where'd authentication go? It was there. Why is it over here? Let's leave it right there because I think it is. Do I want to go and unwind that pull request? Added an account controller, email sender extensions. Oh! 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 I got it. I got it. I got it. Check this out. Let's do this. Let's do this. Where is it? Where is it? We were talking about this. 2.1 is available. ASP.NET Core 2.1 is available as a nightly build that we can test. Yes, and exactly, Smab. 2.1 identity is easy. So we can do that. We should be able to implement that in another 40 minutes here. Piece of cake. We can make that happen. ASP.NET 2.1. Let's see. It was. I don't see it. Damien was talking about it on Twitter last night. Potentially dumb question. No dumb questions, only dumb answers. Wintermute, let me know what you got. Serverless real time. Da, 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 da. Let's see what we got here. I think this is it. Early access. This is what he's calling it. Potentially, 2.1 is scheduled for release on the 30th, based on the live stream. Yep. Yep. So, should the RSS feed URL have a particular location, the ticket doesn't give much information. No. No. Although, I do wonder, Sinclairinator, does your project automatically add the header element right into the HTML head, the link to the RSS feed? And Shane's got, yeah, I think this is the link. I can't inspect that link. It does not. Okay, so we'll need to write that. No big deal. That's easy to do. Just wanted to make sure we didn't duplicate it and have two entries there in the header. It's the same place I am. Fantastic. Okay, so there's another feature that I'd love to have. Oh my gosh, Shane, you've inspired me here. So for those of you who didn't see, when I was hosting our friend Scott Kate a few weeks ago, we put into the chatbot the ability to inspect and report back. Here's what this image is. I would love to have Fritzbot should report the title of an HTML page linked. So similar to the image description, right? So with Scott, if you post a link into the chat room, right, and it ends with an image extension .jpeg, .gif, .png, .tiff, it will inspect and report back. Here's what that image is. If you post a link like Shane did here, I'd like to report back. Here's what that page links to. That way we can make a decision as to whether or not to allow that link to be passed through into the chat room. Let's post the title of the HTML page of that may be linked, in the chat room, right? And I think that's another simple thing that we can build here. Right now, I'm going to mark this as an enhancement and a good first issue help wanted. If anybody wants to take a shot at that, that Shane inspired me with his Twitter shortened link there. So now let's right now I've got to unwind my stack, my thought stack here. Backing up here now to what Smab was saying right at the top of the chat here on the screen. We should have logins and verify identity. And I think what he was saying in 2.1, so the new release of ASP.NET Core we're going to get next week, this is really easy to do, and Scott Hunter showed us a little bit of that. Listen to me, I'm referencing old shows now, like you guys were watching all of them. But he showed us how to enhance identity a little bit in 2.1. And Dan Roth at Build had a great talk where he showed how to use these new features. I think we can upgrade CoreWiki to this early access version and start to take advantage of identity really easily here, because I think Smab is spot on. Let's just use this quickly, and we'll be able to take advantage of that. So with your comments and your influence there in the chat room, I think this is where I should go, and then I can reference identity and light that up quickly here. Sound good? I'm looking for your approval. All right, I've got things kind of layered on my user interface over here. And if you have any suggestions for other sound effects or music that I should have here, message me and we'll figure out a time to verb angular some parts of this app. Absolutely, Mike, we'll do that. Why C sharp? Oh, is that Capulara? I like C sharp. I'm a big fan of C sharp. To be perfectly honest, I learned C sharp way back in 2001, 2002, and I've made a lot of money as a C sharp developer. It's helped support my family. It's helped pay for the house that I live in. I'm a big fan of it. I work with the folks who build C sharp now. So I think it's I think the language is very productive. It's one of the only languages out there that you have a organization, you have a company dedicated to working full-time to building open source with community feedback. Apple's doing work on Swift in the open on that. But I've been a long-time C# user, and I've absolutely fallen in love with the language. I really, really like it, and there's so much you can do with it. Whether it's building stuff for the cloud, or going down and building stuff like our friend Scott Hanselman showed us at the end of our workshop the other day, building stuff that runs on a Raspberry Pi. Putting stuff in containers, building Xamarin applications that run on your phone, your watch. You can run it anywhere. The current identity templates still use Bootstrap 3, so we may need to make some formatting changes. That's okay. Switch your keyboard layout to French without realizing it. Oh my gosh. So is that a good answer for you, Capulara? Whatever floats your boat. Absolutely. You know what? Whatever makes you happy. If you're a big fan of writing in C++, go for it. So let's see if we can adapt and use .NET Core 2.1 here easily. The NuGet packages are included, will not be released to NuGet.org until the day of the official release. That means you'll need to configure a temporary feed in order to restore any packages not used by the default basic templates. You can do that in a NuGet config in your solution folder, or using the new restore additional project sources in your project file, like this. You switched to .NET Core 2.1 last week. Now, is that 2.1 RC, or are you on the final, the RTM here? Because this is the RTM. And yeah, I agree. It's been working fine for me here as well. I loved Scott's Raspberry Pi cloud demo he did for a talk a while ago. Yeah, he's been doing a lot with Raspberry Pi and .NET Core. It's been pretty neat. You get nightmares, Capular. What do you get nightmares of? And that's actually a question I like to use at the end of panel. When I host a panel discussion session at an event, that's one of the last questions I like to ask folks is, as a technologist, what are you afraid of? What keeps you up at night, And it's interesting, when you talk to some of the influencers in our communities, what does keep them up? What are they afraid of? What are they concerned about? So let's start here by I'm going to create a NuGet config file at the root of our project in order to define this extra configuration location. We have a legacy project at work with 120 projects bundled into one. Wow. Okay, I can see why that might give you a little agita. Why you might get a little reflux. Might be a little concerned with that. That would certainly give me pause. And certainly when you're building that, oh my gosh, that would be an absolute nightmare. You probably have to wait a long time for that to build. I'm going to create a NuGet config file here, and I can do that with a .NET new command. There's a template for a NuGet config file. And a NuGet config file tells the .NET command line. See, now look at that. Now I'm really, really dark in front here. Let's see if I can light up my face a little again. There we go. That's a little bit better. A NuGet config file, you like to stay away from C#. That's up to you. But 120 projects is a lot, and there are ways to break that up and break that down into things that are a little bit more manageable. Our NuGet config file, there's actually one sitting on disk for you, but it specifies the locations where your .NET command line or your NuGet command line, depending on what version you're using here, it specifies where it should go to resolve and find packages. So by adding another NuGet config file that's closer to your project, the .NET command line will look there first to get its list of locations to search. Hey, Danny Brown, thanks so much for hosting the stream with 7 more viewers. I really appreciate that. I feel like I can work better with other languages. I move very quickly with TypeScript now. That's terrific. I think the C# influence on TypeScript is clear. Certainly with Anders Heilsberg leading the development of TypeScript, you definitely feel that. You know, TypeScript's his 4th or 5th programming language that he's invented. So very cool stuff. And it's interesting to me how some of the TypeScript features are slowly filtering into JavaScript. So by specifying and creating a new NuGet config using this NuGet config template here, it'll write a NuGet config file into the root of my project, and there it is, right there, behind my head. Right, you can see it. There it is. And right, so package sources, apicorewiki.org. Is that really a place? Is that a place? I didn't think that was a place. No, that's not really a place. And I love that Verizon decides to intercept here. Yuck. I want to use this location. This is where the ASP.NET team is telling me that the new packages are at. So let's use that. Go over to Visual Studio Code, and I'll replace this. Now, this is in that old config file format that that started with .NET Framework. And right, it's XML format, and it has this concept of clear and then add, right? Clear says, don't let any other package source be used, right? Any other places that there's a package source, ignore those, and only use what comes after this. So it's going to add, and let's call this ASP.NET RTM. Let's call it 2.1 RTM. Doesn't matter what the name is, right? And I'll save that here. I have to lead a team that left their Symfony framework at version 1.2, legacy PHP. Oh man, that's old. It's a government-related organization. We'll upgrade it by 2025. I'm so sorry to hear that. All right, so that's the first step here. Now the next step, we need to make sure we have the latest SDK. We need to get the final version of the SDK here. So I'm going to click through and download, because I'm on a Mac, the .NET SDK 2.1300. Is that the same version I have? Is it the same version I have? 2.1i, the RC. Alright, so this is the final version of that, and it's still downloading here. That's fine. Hey, what happened to the 8-hour design patterns architecture stream you were planning? I'm planning it, Tall Pants, and I think we're going to land that in July. We were actually just talking about that. So what I've done, if you'd like to kind of keep tabs on what's going on here, and why not? Because I'm trying to be very transparent about this. I've created an issue for it, and I'm going to start to lob information about folks that we're recruiting and different topics that we want to discuss here in this issue that I've labeled planning. So, Tall Pants, well, we're going to get that happening. I have a group of folks working on our June workshop, and we're going to see where we can land that. And the Xamarin folks are very, very interested in doing a workshop in August. So they're coming. They're all coming. So I encourage you to follow this. If you want to watch this repository, you can. And gosh, friends, don't forget, I have a Discord community out there. You can find the Discord button down below. And you can also do a Bang Discord in the chat room. It will give you a link to the Discord room. You can join up and listen, participate in chat and discuss things like this, what you'd like to see in a workshop like this. So there you go, Tall Pants. There's the latest on what's going on with the architecture workshop. So because we hit the 2000, we're moving that out, and it is happening. All right, so this is good. It's done downloading. Let's get that installed. I love the Mac bouncing icons. Makes me feel better. What? Yes, that's fine. That's fine. Install, and I need to specify my password. Please tell Fritzbot that the command is in Nightbot1. What did they all spit it out at once? Nightbot. Yeah, we're fine. Alright. I have a bare bones version of the RSS feature completed. Cool! Fritzbot yells at me in a whisper. Alright, we'll fix that. And actually, we'll move it from Nightbot over to Fritzbot is where we need to go. I'll do that offline sometime. Let this finish. Could you link the repository or put it in Twitch info? Yeah, we can do that. There you go. Alrighty. Copulara got to it first. Alright. Yep, you can remove the installer. So now if I go back to here, and I do that same .NET version, it's still showing me RC1. Why is it still showing me RC1? Do I have to restart? .NET version. It's still showing me RC1. No! Let's go over to terminal over here. Pop a new window. New window. I've always wondered about some of these other ones because I never open them. I always go right to Pro. Let's try Ocean, see what that looks like. Not bad. Alright. .NET version. There we go. Right, and if I say .NET list SDKs, it'll show me all the different versions that I have here, because I'm a glutton for punishment. Do I have global JSON set for this? Ooh. You're right, I might not. And if I do .NET info, it shows you all the runtimes installed, the SDKs, all the goodies about what's currently running here. I wish when I said exit, it would just close this window for me. Alright. Let's go back over here. I do have a global JSON. That explains it. Much better. Alright, now I feel better about myself. Good call, Smab. And Sinclair Nader picked it up too. Alright. Let's finish this. Let me finish this update, and then we'll go over, and who was it? Wintermute said he had an initial version of the RSS. So let's do the update first. So to do the update, I'm going to jump in here and change this to Netcore App 2.1. I think I need to change this to 2.1.0. These are now included in the project, so I think I can just remove them altogether. And this we're going to change to 1.0. I've gotten burned by the global JSON way too much. Yeah. Feels amazing, man. Oh, cool. Thank you. All right. Let's see. .NET build. Core wiki. Yeah. Good. Oh, we're burned. All right. What do we got here? Build failed. Oh, shoot. I still have the terminal running over here. Alright, go away. Alright, try that one more time. A failing dev? A failing dev? Well, thank you for the follow. I hope Steve is encouraging there to you, and we'll, Senior Consultant Solution Development role. Oh, for a job interview tomorrow at Avanade. Oh, good luck. Let us know. .NET quit unexpectedly. Ignore. Well, it built successfully, so, right, we should be able to just .NET run. We should see it running. Nuts. I'm down a folder. See how this goes. And Fierce Kittens is hosting. Thank you, Fierce Kittens. I appreciate the host. All the folks over there on her creative channel tuning in. Let's see here. So we'll go back and, right, this should just work. Right? And sure looks like it does. And all I did was just bump the version number. And that sure looks like it's working fine to me. Fantastic. So we can add those identity features here a lot easier. So let's do a quick git status. Let's add the NuGet config. And let's make sure, what branch am I on? Dev, okay. So let's git commit updated to 2.1 RTM. We'll give that a shot. ASP.NET Core app versus ASP.NET Core all. I spelled commit wrong. Alright. I'm not sold on this needing to be... I know that they're kind of recommending that you should go to ASP.NET Core app. There it goes. Why is it... Oh, I wrote clear up there. Stupid. Oh, that's so stupid. Because I wrote it in the wrong place. Yeah, I know. That's better. We're supposed to move to app, yes. See, so browser link isn't in the box anymore. And I'm not really using browser link here anyway. So I can go remove it. It's being referenced in startup. Alright, startup. There it is. Right, I can get rid of this. No. Alright. And that should run. You run into SQLite problems if you change to app. It needs to be added separately. Ah. Right. So we need to change that one as well. Now the command for it... Alright, that's another package. Include equals... And is it Microsoft? Is it entity frame... Framework core. Yeah. I forget the name of the package and control. Yeah, control space isn't giving me. And I thought there was an extension that did that for you. right? No, no, no. Talked about it in one of the communities. Yeah. You had to change it for the workshop. Oh, so Shane's got it handy. Yeah, I thought there's a handy autocomplete here for this. I'm gonna see if I can find it faster than Shane. Microsoft Entity Framework Core, and we should see SQLite. SQL Server. There it is, SQLite. Let's make sure I copy that correctly. And we'll just pop that in there. Version equals 2.1. Yep, got it. All right, try that .NET run again. Come on. Ooh. We should fix that in list comments. This should work, right? Good. Latest changes. Good. All right. So let's kill that. Now there was a build warning up here we should get to. There it is. List comments. The async method lacks await. So this is in create comments and list comments CSHTML. Let's fix that real quick because I don't want to have those laying around. So that is under pages, components, and this one. Right. Add DB context. Add DB context pool is recommended to performance. All right. Let's task. Right, isn't it? From come on. We should be able to do that. I'm gonna have to reload here. Right, reload window, there it is. Make sure that my C# parser is running properly. See, I don't see. There it is. See the little flame there? That's the OmniSharp flame that lets me know that it's inspecting and looking at this. All right, I did a control space. Where the heck are you going? Creates a task that completed successfully with the specified result. Yep. So that should be good. And then it was over in the other list comments as well. So if I do await tasks from results, this dude, no, this dude right here, no, this dude right here, this dude, thanks for following us. I look forward to seeing you in the chat room. And Steve, this dude is a developer. He is. I miss Control-Shift-B when I use VS Code. Yeah. Oh, yeah. All right. So that should build, right? Hang on. I knew it. I was in the wrong folder. Let's just make sure that that builds now that I dropped that await statement in there. Wouldn't be too bad an idea. Made a key binding. Nice. All right. So that should fix that issue. Yeah, all right. So I think we can commit this now. I got to drop that WikiDB. I thought we got rid of that. Look at me trying to do VI here. Here. Kasupero. Or is it Kasupero? Thank you for the follow. I appreciate that. I look forward to seeing you in the chat room. Both you and this dude. Not git attributes. Git ignores what we want. Yeah, it should ignore the SQLite files. But for some reason, it's still there. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to add everything, and then I'm going to go back and remove. Right, now let me remove that. Okay. And let's bring in global. Cool. Remove async and await from invoke async, not needed. Let me go back to that. Sure, Wintermute, go ahead and create a PR. Just delete the keywords. Yeah, but if I delete it, it can't find invoke async. See? Right, if I remove this, right, and I change this to a task. What? So that built. So let's go check it out and verify this. All right. Maybe you're right. But, you know... I definitely don't need the async and await in the create. The list comments, yeah, Avandra, I want to look at the list comments over here. Oh no, it's being passed in. Oh gosh. I didn't even think about that. If it's being passed in, we don't need to do any of the async and await here. And don't need the... I thought I deleted this. There it goes. Yeah. All right, let's push it. Git commit. All right. Updated to ASP.NET Core 2.1. And let's... Are you kidding? Fat fingered that one real good. All right. And... Hey, Frederick. Welcome to the chat room. And who was it? Somebody was saying that there was a recommendation to use... Avandro says, add DB context pool is recommended for performance. So let's go take a look at that. So up here, let's fix some of that layout. Services. Add routing. Add DB context pool. Sure. PR submitted. Thank you, Kyle, and hey, Frederick. It's good to have you following us. Thanks so much for joining us here on the stream, and I look forward to any questions you might have there in the chat room. All right. Yes, welcome to all of our new followers and subscribers, folks that are joining us today. We're up to over 2,100 followers. That's great. And if you're watching on the YouTube archive of this, go ahead and mash that subscribe button up at the top so you can get notified whenever I publish a new video here to the channel. So welcome everybody. This is great. I really appreciate everybody joining our little community here. And let's, before I commit this, you know, the OCD in me wants to fix some of that tabbing, make sure it lines up perfectly. That's why I leave these tab guides on here, because I want to make sure everything lines up perfect. I'm an old-time Fortran developer where we had to worry about the position, the column that things were in when we wrote code. And that was always kind of weird. All right, so I updated that to use the pool. So just to verify that suggestion that Evandro gave us, that it works properly, I'm just going to do a .NET run and make sure I can click around the website. What happened there? This is what I was looking at. And now you've angered .NET. You've angered the SDK. Thanks a lot, chat room. All right, let's go back and take a look and see why we're getting this. All right. So we have these two components that are being called, and they're being called, right, and this is using Razor templating. They're being called on the detail page. And we're calling component.invokeAsync, right? And that component, I didn't remove async from the method name. Are you kidding? I thought I did on both of them. I didn't make a change in here. Go away, Mac banner. There it goes. No. And what was the other one? The other one was create. That one I fixed. And it's specifically the list one I was missing. Rats. Alright. Let's try that. Build again. Okay. So now let's try the .NET run. And if this works, I'll just do a commit amend and just add it on to the previous one. So far, so good. All right. Back onto my project here. I'll click into the home page. Looks like it's loading properly. And am I seeing my comments down here? Yep, they look good. Cool. Thanks for catching that, Smap. And then, so let's commit this. All right, let's take a quick look. Yep. So I will do a commit AM, and I don't need an AM. I just need a commit A. Right? And just do that. Right? And all right. So that was it. You figured I knew what I was doing. Oh. Oh. You got me. All right. I keep typing git status. So let's push that. So now we'll be able to add the identity next time with everything all up to date and running nicely. Cool. Cue the cheering. Oh, we'll have the. I've got the audience applause right here, ready to go. Let me let's take a look at the feature now that Wintermute has submitted. While we were off working, Wintermute was putting together a pull request for us. There it is. Oh, all right. Implements number 11 should be syndication list add. This isn't adding the RSS item valuable to the syndication list. Nope, it's not going to read it because of low number of bits there. But did you say cue the cheering? Oh yes, and thank you for the bits, Brendan. So if we take a look here, is this ready to go? So here we're adding a reference to Snickler RSS core. That's Sinclair Nader's library, and defines an RSS provider, permalink. So you're going. I'm not sure that that's what we want. Title sample. Issues syndication list. I don't think that's where. I'm not sure. Okay. All right. Fair enough. So right, and there's a conflict now in startup. So I think we want this to route to it was sparse. Yeah, there you go. RSS feed to show the latest changes. Let's go back to this. Yeah, RSS feed of recently changed articles. It's not going to read it. Oh my gosh. Thank you for the cheer. AU for all. Yes, append 25 more bits. There we go. Yeah, so I think what we want here is Mr. Cloudy's up. I just answered that question a minute or two ago, but I'll be happy to answer it again. Give me 1 second here to answer Wintermute and Sinclair Nader. The permalink and the URI for the RSS items, these shouldn't point back to the project, but I'd like the RSS feed to show the latest update. No problem, Mr. Cloudy. I'll just recap. I'd like these to point to the RSS feed to point to the latest changes, right? The contents of, well, it would be this page, but I don't have it running right now. Right, let's just. Okay, there we go. And if we go here, so I'd like to show, right, the last 10 items, 20 items in the RSS feed that come out of this latest changes. Okay, so to answer, I want to check that minimum bits. I think the minimum bits might be 100 to read someone's comment. So, Mr. Cloudy, why C#? I like C# is a language that I fell in love with about 15, 20 years ago, and I really enjoy it. It's a little bit higher level language than C and C++, so I don't have to worry about memory allocations. I've got a great garbage collector that runs nicely for me, and I've got some amazing tools with Visual Studio and Xamarin that allow me to build and run everywhere. So C++ is great for low-level stuff that you want to really squeeze every last bit of performance out of, and they use it nicely in game development, certainly in other application development as well. But C# runs great now on, and I like Kyle's quote there from Scott Hanselman, it's like Visa, it's everywhere you want to be. I can certainly run C# with .NET Core, Windows, Mac, and Linux. I can use the Xamarin framework and compile for whatever mobile device I'd like. I can even run it in the browser with with the Blazor project using WebAssembly. So that's very cool. And it's completely open source. Never tried it? Just stick with C++ with Python for web automation. Hey, if that works for you, great. I hope, if you join us and you follow along with some of the C# that I'm working on, maybe you see something that you like, and maybe you'll give it a try, Mr. Cloudy. To me, it's all about learning new languages, new things, broaden our scope as a developer to learn about some of these other features and things that are out there that you might not be normally exposed to in your normal job, right? Somebody was mentioning they're working on a very old version of PHP as part of a government contract. Why did all of my browsers refresh all of a sudden here in OBS? That's weird. But if you're working at a government job and you're working on a very old version of PHP or some other framework that you're not thrilled with, it's nice to be able to expand your horizons and look at other languages that you might not be exposed to. F#, whatever. It's up to you to spend some time learning and growing your knowledge base. So C# is what I like. At some point I'm going to be working on F# here. I should have done F# in February so that I could have that alliteration, F# February. The Useless Game Player, thank you for that subscription. Gosh, I really appreciate that. You're going to get access to our .NET bot emote that you can use there in the chat room. And thank you for the follow as well. But of course, with all of our subs and all of our cheers, I'm going to match that, and we'll turn around and share that over. I'm going to match that, and we're going to make a donation to Girl Develop It. That's an open source. That's a nonprofit organization that is working to teach women and underserved minorities more about how to write code. And I think if I've done my math correctly, we're going to make our first donation to Girl Develop It next week. I'm going to make a big deal about that, and we will absolutely celebrate that donation that from our community, not just for me, but from our community, to Girl Develop It, and make sure that they know we really appreciate their work that they're doing. Finally caught me on here, been watching on YouTube. Thank you so much for making that donation to Girl Developers. That's an amazing thing to do. Oh, no, not a problem, Useless Game Player, and my supervisors, the folks that I work for, they're happy with that type of thing as well, and we might have something cool to announce around that in the future. I decided to learn C++ because my dad recommended it a few years ago. He said that learning it would make a lot of other languages simpler. Yeah, I think you're right. I'm only 16, and they learn Java at my school. Okay, Mr. Cloudy, well done to you learning.
Congrats on the growing success of your stream.
2 months, Kyle. Thank you so much for that subscription. Absolutely, we will match and get that over to Girl Develop It. But Mr. Cloudy, 16, and learned C++, learning Java at school, but I was allowed to complete the course in C++ during one big test. So I'm working in C++ to get some extra money. That is awesome, Mr. Cloudy. Kudos to you. Issues to close. Number 8, number 19, article view count. Let's let me pop over there real quick. I learned C++ at 14. There's definitely something to helping girls, helping young folks learn how to write code earlier in years. And those are some of our underserved groups in the technology community today that I want to make sure have an opportunity. So 8? What was 8? Comments. Oh, we have comments done. Yes. Yes. Let's make sure we close that. 19, the view article read count. I just saw that. There it is. Yep, we finished that. This was great. We have that done. So it's looking more and more like we've accomplished something. Holy crow, that's a lot of text here. I've been coding for 3 years now, and my dad considers me good enough to work, so he hired me at his company. That's awesome, Mr. Cloudy. That is great stuff. You are on an amazing track. I learned Nintendo at 14. Yay for girl coders. Fierce kittens, absolutely. Yeah, you know what? And for those of you who don't know Fierce Kittens, she's a game developer and knows her way around C++ here. Very, very cool company to have joining us here. All right, so maybe we'll do a C++ stream at some point. C++ workshop. I've got some friends at Intel that have expressed an interest in doing something. Maybe we can talk about that. All right. I've got 3 or 4 things happening here, and I'm getting distracted. So the pull request over here, we wanted to look at that RSS feed. All right. I am going to get... Oh, there we go. Kate Gregory. Yes. Yes, yes. There's a lot to learn about C++. Having Kate Gregory coming would be a pretty big deal, but I need to kind of box it. So... All right. I'm going to merge this, and I'm going to change around the RSS item so it goes off of... Unless... Wintermute, are you working on this? To make it pull in the latest changes? I'll wait there a second to see. Today I learned. Thank you. Oh, cool. Right now he's teaching me to develop neural networks. There's a lot that cannot code since the language is... Okay, that's fine, Wintermute. You can go ahead and do that refactor. Gosh, Wintermute, that's terrific. Now, I'm actually teaching my daughters a little bit of C++ through one of these things. So this is a Joule bot, right? This is a friendship bracelet with it's actually got a couple extra bands in it. But you can program this. This has an Arduino in it. And you can program the 4 lights that are on it to respond to different things, to blink in different orders if you'd like, and but this is all programmed using C++ with the Arduino editor, and yeah, neural networks at 16 is pretty impressive there. So I think this is a nice entryway for young folks to get into programming C++, because once you get past blinking, there's also responding to other folks. Been trying to get my girls into coding. This is called a Joule bot. Let me get a little bit closer there. You can see Joule bots. You can check them out at joulebots.com. Full disclosure, I do help them out occasionally. Trying to ignite coding interest in my 7-year-old daughter by way of the Tinker app. Yep. Oh, thanks for the link there, Sudoku. But Joule bots they're a little expensive, but you can get these. I believe they're on Amazon right now. You can also, of course, go to joulebots.com and download it. So they're very cool. They came to an event that I influenced a little bit called Tech Bash. And they taught a room full of young kids how to program an Arduino. Really great stuff. I love seeing programming events for families at conferences. The folks at CodeMash do a great job of that. And I know Sudoku's involved with a little bit of that at CodeMash. It's something they call Kids Mash there. Thanks for the link. It isn't the most advanced stuff, complicated stuff, but easy stuff is better than no stuff. Absolutely. You're onto something there, you know. Always be learning, you know. A lot of the stuff that I've learned and that I've done in technology is not stuff that I learned while I was at college. Right? It wasn't part of my curriculum. I went and learned the stuff on my own. I spent time reading books, following up on topics. Yes, Sudoku is not a bot. All right. How far are you, Wintermute, from posting that? Because I'm wondering if I should bide my time here to receive that last pull request and we can get that into the mix here. Or if I'm at the end of the day today, because I'm keeping an eye on the time here, and I do have other things that I need to be doing. The boss wants me to get stuff done today. And by the boss, of course, I mean Mrs. Fritz. You're working on it. All right. So here's what I'm going to do. Yeah, I've got a 2 o'clock that I need to get ready for. So, and I like the idea, somebody dropped the idea of F-sharp Fridays. I think it was Sudoku. If you need to split, I can keep working. We can get to it later. Yeah, we can merge that on Saturday. But this will get done a feature. And I think we're set up nicely on Saturday to talk about bringing in security and then doing that diff so that we can have project versions. Right? Gosh, that diff is really just part of the project versions capabilities. But I think we need to do that. If I watch this back later, will this show me how to upgrade to 2.1? Yes. Yes, Soul Rev Dev, you probably just missed it. It is not RTM, but I show you how to use the nightly build that they've got staged and they're testing right now. So you will be able to see exactly how to do it. It's very easy to do. There's a link here in the ASP.NET Home Wiki. It's actually not linked directly. And the NuGet feed is down here. Right, there's actually a link right there, and I do show how to do that. If anybody wants to clip that on Twitch, you can go. 2.1 is RC, and I believe Damien tweeted out the official bits will be out on the 30th. This is the RTM bits staged for release, and like I said, they're testing. If you want an early access to them, you can check these out now right here at Wiki 2.10 Early Access Downloads, if you see it up there. Alright, I think we're going to wrap up there today. Let me make sure I pushed my last set of changes there. Right? I can't remember. Yep, working tree is clean. Good. So, I pushed my latest changes. All the source code is now available that we were working on up here in the core wiki repository. We merged a couple of pull requests today. We've got a couple folks. Wintermute is finishing up this RSS feed, so when he's done that, we'll get that merged in, and we'll get him some credit on the new GitHub scoreboard up there. Thanks so much to everybody who joined us today. I really appreciate everybody's contributions. Go ahead, give yourself a little applause. I think it's warranted. And this will be archived and over on YouTube a little bit later today, and if you're a YouTube viewer that are watching this, go ahead and hit that subscribe button so that you know next time I publish a video over here. And I encourage you to join us over on Twitch, like the 66 or some folks that are watching right now live on Twitch. You can ask questions, and I'm happy to answer them while we're over here broadcasting live and working together. When is the next stream? Next stream will be Saturday, same time, 10 a.m. Eastern. That's 7 a.m. Pacific. You can watch me while you're enjoying your Frosty Flakes or Federal Donuts there on the West Coast. That's also 1400 UTC, 2 in the afternoon, if you're right there on the Prime Meridian. But and if you're in India, if you're India Standard Time, it'll be 8 p.m. out in Delhi. All right. Thanks so much, everybody, for joining us today. That archive will be up in just a little bit. And I'll see you next time. Take care.